thought I'd show you another quick video again about your hands being cocked back in this position right here in order to stay through a baseball. So I think I need to explain a little bit more about it because I think that it was a little bit confused. Some people might have got a little confused about it, you know what I mean? So I need to explain why, why your hands need to be cocked back like this. So this video is just going to explain why. Okay, if you have a bat in your hand like this and your lead wrist, if you hold the bat like this and your lead wrist is sitting flat like this and your top hand's like this, your top hand is going to, when you start to go like this, your top hand is going to dominate your lead arm and push it down because there's nothing supporting it from pushing down because your top hand is on top of it. So it's automatically forcing it to swing down like this. If you take your hands, especially your lead wrist, and you cock your lead wrist back like this, and your top hand is here and you leave it cocked, now when you swing, your lead wrist wants to work up. So to hit line drives, to hit doubles, to hit home runs, you've got to get your front side to work up. So the way that you do it is with your lead wrist. If you keep your lead wrist cocked at a 45-degree angle and you just keep it there and swing, you will automatically work upward. So both wrists being cocked like this, it's impossible for you not to work up. The only way you cannot work up is if you have your wrist cocked and for some reason you release it back here. You release the angle. Now once you release the angle, now things get kind of weird. Your body wants your chin wants to come forward. Your hands want to roll. What I want to do is I want to stop this hand from rolling. And the only way I can stop this hand from rolling is if this hand is cocked like this. One thing I used to tell my guys about their lead arm, I used to always tell them, you want to keep your pimp hand strong. And that's one of the terms I used to use. And the guys that probably see this that know me, they'll know this terminology of keeping your pimp hand strong. And what I meant by that is that what I would show them is that you want your wrist to be cocked back so your lead arm and your whole arm stays strong versus your wrist being like this and your lead arm's not very strong. So the more if you cock your wrist back on your lead arm, you have no choice but to work upward. If you leave your lead arm like this, what's going to happen is the inertia is going to want to take the bat out this way and you're going to start to roll over and swing down. So what I'm doing is I'm fighting inertia. If I leave my wrist cocked like this and all the inertia starts to happen, if I keep it in this angle, it will fight it from pushing away from me and then my arm will go up. So that's basically, if I had a ball, so we'll angle it down and I'll move this out a little bit. Move this up so you can see it. I'll do it with a ball. Hold on, let me angle this camera down a little bit more. Right there. Here's a ball on a tee. If I had a bat in my hand, right, and my hands are like this is what's going to happen. The minute I start my swing, my hands are going to want to cast away from me, and look at how I'm striking this ball. I'm literally striking on top of this ball. Now, if I take my lead arm and I make sure my wrist stays cocked like this, back towards me, so I'll show it to you from the side. My wrist stays like this. Now I take the same swing, and now my hands want to work up underneath this ball. They want to work seriously up. They want to go like this. Versus my hand being like this, and the weight of the bat makes it do that. This is how simple it is. If my hand is straight, the bat is going to, once I start to open my hips, the bat's going to fall out that way. And I'm going to be on a downward path to the baseball. If I leave my wrist cocked, once my hips pop out, the bat's going to be on an upward plane towards the baseball. So that's all you have to understand is that, as long as this lead wrist is cocked back and it stays cocked back, you'll always be on an upward plane to the ball. And you'll hit everything upward. Your swing will be upward versus having this hand straight like this. And now everything wants to swing down. So that's the difference between your wrist being cocked back and it not being cocked back. If your wrist is cocked back like this and you keep this angle, you have an upward swing. If your wrist is like this, straight, you start your swing, you're going to swing downward. So you're going to intersect the ball like this, and hopefully, maybe the sun shines on you and it hits a line drive. So you have to understand that strikes are not typically this high. They're going to actually be a lot lower. They're going to be between underneath your armpits and the top of your knees. So when I hit, that's why I keep my wrist cocked and the knob underneath my armpit where it's cocked towards my armpit. If I keep the knob cocked towards my armpit like this, now when I swing, I'll drive the ball in the air. Because this is a little known fact that people don't understand about bats. Let me explain it to you. If I take this bat and I take my hips and I go like this, the barrel is literally swinging from armpit to armpit. It's literally swinging from one armpit to the other because this is the core of my body, the center of my body. So this is a 33 and a half inch bat. So literally this barrel, the swing path of this barrel is from armpit to armpit. Like this. Back and forth. If I spin, right? If I'm going like this and I spin and go like this bat doesn't move. But if I take my hips and go back and forth like this bat wants to move. So in order for this bat to stay in this path, like this, to go from armpit to armpit, I'm going to have to cock my wrist back. I'm going to have to literally cock my wrist back like this. So now when I move my hips, it goes like this, from armpit to armpit. Versus my hand being straight like this, and I cock my wrist back, and I leave my wrist not cocked back, and then I start my swing, and the first thing the bat wants to do is dump. So it starts to go away from my armpits. It starts to go out towards the other batter spots. And that's why you swing down and roll over. So the key is you want to keep your wrist cocked so that when you swing, your wrist still stays towards your armpit. Your wrist never pops away from your armpit. The bat stays cocked towards your armpit. So as it comes around, it wants to go on an upward plane and hit line drives and doubles and home runs. You never want your wrist to be straight to when you start to pull your hips out, the bat wants to dump away from your armpits. To me, that's just the simplest way to explain it. The closer I can keep this bat to my armpits, I'm going to hit through the ball and drive it in the air. So the closer I can keep it towards my armpits like this and my wrist cocked back, when I take a swing, I'm going to drive it in the air. I'm going to swing from armpit to armpit. If I keep my hands straight and it wants to cast away, so if I have my hands like this and I start my swing and it casts away, that's what's going to happen. It's going to cast away from my hands and I'm going to roll over. So that's what I don't want to do. So just so you can see it, I'll take a full swing. My hands are like this. Inertia goes like that. Inertia is going to want to make me do this versus have my wrist cocked and inertia. I'm fighting inertia so I can do that. So that's just a quick, part 2 of why you have to have your wrist cocked back. Little quick demonstration. Like I said, there's no like buttons or anything like that. I hope you like the video and just work on it and just kind of let it marinate in your head. All right. Sean Speed, hitting 101, signing off. Peace.